Hello, my Mouseketeers. Welcome to the first ever episode of the MinniePod with your host, Minnie Mouse Sparkles. And I'm just here today to talk about stuff. Each week, I'll dish out some new tea every week. So if you want to hear some juicy tea that I have every week, you guys can follow me on the MinniePod. You can subscribe to this podcast so you can get new tea every single week and you can hear what I've got to say, whether it's about relationships or school or just drama with celebrities in general. I'm here to dish out the tea all day, every week. So be here for the first ever thing of the MinniePod. Today's day for the MinniePod, I will be talking about a thing that we women always deal with. Relationships. They're a struggle. We all have them nowadays, and it's honestly challenging enough that we have to face them with breakups. Now, a lot of people do not know this about me, but I am currently on the verge of single and taken at the same time. It's kind of hard to maintain a relationship that's long distance. If any of you ladies have ever dealt with a long distance relationships, I think many of you know that 99% of the time it does not work because it's a far distance. But I'm currently kind of on the prowl of finding a new bae. It's hard finding a bae when you're in high school, when no one has the qualifications that you would stand to, and it's hard, And for the fact that we're here talking about this today makes me happy because it will make me let it off my chest. I've got tea to spill about one of my relationships that I used to have back then in the past. Oh, was it joyous and yikes. One of the relationships I was in, it was more or less an on and off relationship where we were on, but then we were not, and then we were on again. So at that point, that relationship was really confusing. It's hard to keep your shit together when you got people who are just constantly telling you that you need to get your single butt together with somebody. Unlike some people who are already in a relationship. So when you see people walking around with relationships, ladies, tell me if this is relatable. When you're a single girl or a single woman and you walk around seeing people in relationships kissing, hugging, cuddling, laying on each other, seeing Instagram post pictures of happy anniversary to my bae or anything like that, tell me that doesn't make you feel envious and jealous inside that you don't have someone to share that with. Because that's exactly how I feel every time I see a relationship, because they're not close to me. They're not with me. And sad enough as it is, I don't have one. Which is exactly why I hate Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, I feel like, is one of the worst holidays because I always felt like you needed a boo to celebrate Valentine's Day with. But some people keep telling me you can always say Happy Valentine's Day to your mom or your sisters or your siblings. I'm like, yeah, I'd rather do it with a bae, not with family members. It only makes more sense when you have a bae because it actually has common sense. Unlike saying Happy Valentine's Day to your family members, at the end of the day, you still love them, but you need a boo. A lot of people say that you need a boo, but, there are actually some good things about being single. And all I can say, there is one thing about being single that's good for me, is that I'm not attached to anything. I've said this before to some people, but I always said that relationships are a trap. They're traps to set you up for failure in life. And honestly, I can honestly agree with my statement because I always feel like half the relationships I was in, it was always a trap. Like, ladies, tell me if this is also relatable. You meet a guy, you think he seems sweet and genuine by him complimenting you constantly and telling him that you look beautiful and that you're pretty. But then at the end of the day, they just want to get in your pants so you can get laid. And then you end up smacking them in the face. Or insulting them with words, calling them a bastard because they just wanted to get with you to get in your pants. I've had to deal with that many times.